In fact, talking about some of the gainers, let's also welcome on board Arun Kumar, the Group CEO and Managing Director at Strides Shasun, joining us on the show right now. Arun, hi, good to have you on the show. Thanks much for taking the time out and speaking with us. Let's talk about the business in the US that has seen a ramp up. Do you expect this to continue? You also launched several products with revenues higher than about $15 million in the recent months. Will that continue to lead growth for you in the geography?
Yeah, hi, thank you, and good morning, and thanks for having me. Yes, the U.S. has shown a significant growth trajectory over the last 3 or 4 quarters. We've obviously grown the business from under $25 million a quarter to now to $56 million. It'll be hard to maintain this momentum from here on in terms of quarter-on-quarter growth, but I would still expect this business to have some more legs before it plateaus and awaiting new launches. So I think we're all set for this year. We have good programs going on with terms of our approval processes, but also in terms of increased market share. So to answer your question specifically, I like to believe that the U.S. will continue to grow from this base, albeit a little smaller in terms of Q-on-Q growth percentages, considering we came from a very low base. So yes, the overall looks good.
Puducherry recently saw a warning letter. Pardon me, do you expect a re-inspection sometime soon? And what's the contribution of the facility? Do you expect a lower contribution ahead on some of these concerns?
So Puducherry is approximately $40 million of our revenues. It's a high volume, low value plant in terms of total revenues that it delivers to the U.S. market. Outside of one product, all our products are fungible, as in we produce the same product in other plants. So it will not have a direct impact on our present run rate. Clearly, as we indicated earlier in the year when we got the initial official action, the 7 or 8 products that we were expecting approvals from this particular plant will get deferred. But overall, we still believe that 12 to 15 new product approvals from our other facilities will come through, considering all the other plants got recently approved as late as 2 to 3 weeks ago. We got all the approvals for our other plants. So there won't be any significant financial impact on the consequence of the Puducherry warning letter.
Okay. What about your Africa branded business? Do you see an improvement over here from the second half?
Yes, so the Africa branded business finally turned around. It's taken us almost a shade over a year, 5 quarters to be exact. And we're now very delighted with the turnaround that business has done. We brought in a new leadership. We've got our hygiene right, and we would now see significant momentum in that business. Yeah, so we would expect H2 to start delivering results that would be what we used to do in that market several years ago.
The regulatory approvals for the divestment of your Australian business, and just to give us a sense as to when the money will start coming in, and how much will that help to retire your overall debt?
Well, actually, the money came in on the 10th of July, and we indicated that we would retire $160 million of debt, but we actually retired $205 million of debt. So our debt has already come down from the high 2,800 odd crores to less than 700 crores.
Okay, and when it comes to what the street is expecting, it's your earnings are expected to more than double over FY19 to 21, and that would largely be led by the scale up in the US revenue as well as your reduction in interest costs. Is this number feasible?
Well, the transaction, the exit from Australia is accretive in the sense of depreciation and interest already dropping significantly. So that itself will add to the earnings growth over the next year. Added to that, we have retained 50% of the total EBITDA that we sold through a exclusive supply contract, and that will flow through from this quarter. So combining these two and continuous growth in other markets, that could be a fair estimate, but I am not able to comment on a futuristic number for that matter.
Okay.
Talking about overall markets, then if we look at the US, EU, and other developed markets, has the all-around growth started to deliver in Q1, and will that continue?
Yeah, there's been steady 5 consecutive quarters of growth, and I think we have reached a certain stage where we brought the business to size and profitability. I think there is significant OPEX leverage for the next several quarters, and it'll be a fair assessment to assume that growth could be sustainable and would be an interesting time of our reset or recalibration that we started a couple of the last year.
Okay, Arun, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for highlighting Strides Pharma's performance. That is one stock which is completely moving against the rest of the market, holding up by a solid 11% in an otherwise bleak market as we speak, because the market has definitely given up its gains from the morning. Breath has now turned negative.